really until Virtual Console. So 3 is like the one I remember, like Magnet Man, Snake Man, Gemini, like all of those are awesome.
Yeah, but do you remember dealing with Doc Robot?
No, because I didn't.
No.
Yeah, that'll make you hate that game. That'll make you hate that game. Trust me.
I don't care though. My experience with it is the best one.
It's
Music
still a
is
bad
so
game,
good.
though.
Like the
Kills the
NES
pacing.
music is so good.
No, it's not. It's a lot of chip tune. Everything sounds similar. Super Nintendo's music is much better.
You're like a hipster.
Why are you even
millennial.
here, Ben?
Because the NES is a lot of garbage, and everything got better with the Super Nintendo. Fact.
That's true.
This is just fact. It's better technology. Everything looks prettier. The music's better. Not all the games are great on the Super Nintendo, but shit, a lot of them are vast. I'd rather play Super Ghouls and Ghosts on the Super Nintendo, and that game is garbage, than its NES counterpart, because that game is even more hard garbage. Fact.
I mean, you're right, but here's the thing. SNES was built on everything the NES made.
Sure, yeah. That's
So
fine.
it's better, yes.
Yeah.
But you can't deny that the NES had some amazing things for its time.
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't make it age well and not fun to play anymore.
I mean, a lot of N64 games haven't aged well, but that doesn't make them less incredible.
You're right. But I still don't like the NES library for the most part. There's like 1 or 2 games
I don't
play.
either.
I will play on the NES.
So then, what's
And
your?
I don't go
what's
back
your,
to those games. I just respect them.
What's your? You got? What's the oldest game that you guys played?
I mean, does Tom count?
Like that you still no? I mean, like that you like still play. Like you go back and like enjoy.
Mario
Oh.
1.
But you said you hate Mario 1.
No, I hate Mario.
You said
2.
you said you hate the NES library.
Yeah, but Mario 1 is you can play Mario
It's
1
classic.
no matter what. Yeah, you can play Mario 1 to this day. It's
I
a
don't-
lot of bullshit, but you can still play it.
I don't know why you dunk on NES then. If you're like, I love Super Mario 1. I'm like, all
Yeah,
right.
because I can dunk on most of the library, but like that one game, because that one game is really good.
The oldest game I enjoy going back to is probably the original Zelda. And even that, like, it frustrates me more than it doesn't.
Ew, I wouldn't even touch original Zelda anymore. That shit's
What?
garbage.
That
I
game
love
is
that
so
game.
good.
It's just really frustrating in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But it's a sign of the times. And I think it's the most revolutionary game for its time. One of the most, I should say.
You're right, but if I want to
Like,
feel...
look at Breath of the Wild. That's built on the original Zelda's mechanics.
No, you're right. You're right, fam. But if I want to feel bad and feel angry about myself, I'll just go play something modern. If I want to play a classic top-down perspective Zelda game, I'll go play the better version, which is Link to the Past, the refined version.
No, Link to the Past is garbage.
Link to the Past is not garbage. You take that out of your mouth.
I won't.
It's not hard garbage.
That's one of my least favorite Zelda games.
Oh my god.
And I stand by it.
It's fucking amazing game.
I played through the randomizer recently. I still stand by it. I don't enjoy that game once you get into the Dark World.
Not as bad as Final Fantasy VI when you get to the fucking World of Ruin.
I would agree with that, actually. Going through trying to get the narrative elements of that game in the World of Ruin was awful. I had to use a guide.
Fucking Zelda's best when it gets to the Dark World. You get the best, and you get all the dungeons, and exploration opens up. It's awesome.
None of those dungeons are good.
They're fun.
None of
They're
them.
not memorable, but they're fun.
The Skull Dungeon? Worst Zelda dungeon ever made.
Honestly, I don't even remember the Dark World until you tell me
Exactly.
about it. And then you're like, oh yeah, that game has a Dark World. That's weird.
Yeah. Because it sucks. Even, like, the best dungeons in the Dark World are still just okay. People hold Link to the Past to too high a caliber.
No, it's a really good game. It controls beautifully, has great music. It set a lot of stuff down that would end up become installments of the Zelda series. I mean, Zelda 1 laid the super foundation, but a lot of the tropes and ideas that people think of the Zelda series come from A Link to the Past.
That's all right, but that doesn't make it a good Zelda game. That just means it established.
I don't understand how it's bad. Like the dungeons are not bad; they're fine. They're not, a lot of them aren't memorable. I'll agree, but mechanically,
They're memorable in bad
great.
ways. Gold Dungeon, the Ice Dungeon, the Turtle Rock is okay actually. Blind's Hideout, I just played that one again during the randomizer because that's the only one I beat. It's the only one I could beat with the items I had, and that dungeon is boring. There's nothing to it.
Justin, are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
Were we not? Was that not the show?
All right, show's over, folks.
I started as soon as I came in because you guys were talking about Mega Man, and I was like, "Oh, this is good."
All right. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna die in pain because knowing that
I'm really sad that
a friend
wasn't
of
the
mine just can't accept that Link to the Past is a good video game. Not even just like it, just acknowledge that it's good.
It's a revolutionary video game, but it's just not one I like. I'm not even saying it's a bad video game. I'm just saying that a lot of the stuff in it is bad.
You said it was a bad Zelda game, so...
Yeah, it's not a bad video game. It's a bad Zelda game.
It's not. Oh.
All right, let's ignore the rambling of a madman here. Hello, everyone.
It's one of the worst Zelda games.
Welcome to the Charge Shot Gamescast, where you'll have our opinions on Mega Man and Zelda games. Justin's here today.
Link to the Past is a bad video game. It's a bad Zelda game, sorry.
And I'm the one with bad opinions? Really?
Yeah. You said Mega Man 3 isn't good.
It's not. You never got to Doc Robot. I did. I
know what Doc Robot is.
I've seen it. I've seen other people play it. To play it. That's like saying, oh yeah, this aspect of Final Fantasy VI isn't good, but you never played it, so you don't. It's different. Doc Robot is.
You just cycle through the powers and see which one hits them the worst. That's what you do on every other Robot Master.
Fuck that, dude. The stages are more bullshit. It kills the pacing. Just let me get to Wily and kick his ass again. Just let me do that.
That's every Mega Man game. Every single one. The end stages are the worst part.
Works. God, fuck Mega Man. No, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this and you like Mega Man 3 and you think it's your favorite, you're wrong. You're just wrong. Because Doc Robot ruins everything. God.
You ruin everything.
I know I do.
That's your one. We also
have an anecdote to start the show off if you want.
We also
go ahead and introduce the wrong person first.
And we also have Ben. That's the other rambling of a madman.
Oh, I held the bongo cat.
Alright, what's your anecdote?
So yeah, we started a little late because of me. I took my brother out to dinner tonight for his birthday. It was Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. This week is blurred together, man. And so we're taking him out to dinner, and then we went to the kind of like kickoff event for my favorite beer, which I've talked about before on the show. We had it at my wedding and everything. Clyde's Cream Ale, which is a local beer. It's like kind of caramel, like vanilla flavored, and the logo was a cat because it's a brewery that has a cat, and they named the beer after the cat.
Aww.
I've had like 2 of them, so this story will be interesting. And so I went there. Like we all went there to go get like the first tap of this beer, and we brought growlers along with us to bring it home to have, you know, for future, because this brewery's kind of out of the way. Like it's in the city, but it's like well, we left at like 7:40 and got home 8:05, so like 25 minutes away by taking the highway. Like it's kind of absurdly out of the way. But anyway, went over there, got beers, and then like I was about to leave, and I was like, "Hey, can you fill this growler for me?" And the guy that had been helping me the whole time, like, had my card on tap and everything, or yeah, on tab, I should say. I was like, "Yeah, I can get this taken care of, no problem." He was like, he had to have been super high, because he was just taking everything in stride. He didn't care, and he was new, so he didn't know. But he took the growler over and was going to fill it. And the other lady that was working the counter was like, "No, I'm sorry. This is the kickoff event for this, and it is too busy for us to take 10 minutes to fill your growler." And I was like,
minutes.
"Oh, sorry." Like, there was a thing on Facebook saying that they would be filling growlers for the next few weeks and to come into the brewery sometime to fill it. So I figured, hey, we're already here for the kickoff event. Might as well get growlers filled to take it home with us. You know, give them more money for the beer I like. Great, it ended up being a much better price than I expected, and I'm pretty sure that like it's highway robbery to charge that little for a growler. But anyway, for those that don't know, it's like 64 ounces of beer.
Damn.
Yeah. And so she basically was like really snooty and was like, "We can't do that right now. Come back another day." I was like, "This place is super far out of the way. I'm not going to come back another day." You said you fill growlers. Like, and they had another bar in the back of the brewery set up that they don't usually have, but like they set it up because it's a kickoff. There's a lot of people there, things like that. They also had, side note, they also had foot pool, which is just like a bunch of soccer balls in this like kind of closed off like like pool looking field. And the soccer balls were like painted like pool. It was really weird, but I wanted to play it, and kids kept getting in the way. Yeah, so we go back to the other bar area because they weren't even busy. Like there was no one over there, and we're like, "Hey, can you fill this growler?" The mean lady up front said that they couldn't do it. But yeah, I said that. I was like, she was really snooty about it. But the other guy at the counter said that you guys might be able to do it, so I thought I'd bring it back here just to check. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we totally would. Like, we're not busy." I'm sorry she said that to you, by the way. That's not cool. But we don't have the like CO2 like cord thing that you know we would use to fill it, because that way we can like just do a quick fill without like foam going everywhere, and it's a lot cleaner. So if we had that, we would totally fill it for you. He's like, but I'll go talk to her and see why she wouldn't do it, and see if we can get something sorted out for you if you'll be here for a little while. So like I was actually like I went out there like on my way out, but then the guy apologized for misconstruing because he thought he could do it and he was told otherwise. So he apologized by giving me a free beer. So I guess I'm here for a few minutes to finish this one. So if you want to figure it out, let me know. So he came over a few minutes later, like with the hose, and was like, "Hey, I'll take your growlers and start filling them for you while you're here." So like he just like he shade like just crapped all over her, like, "Oh yeah, I'll totally do that for you." She should have, but so we waited a few minutes and then went over to the bar, and she was there, like she was at that back bar now, being as polite as could be, with like the head of the brewery, like the guy that owns it. And then like the guy that offered to fill it for me, they were all there together, and she was just like, "Oh hey, what can I get you?" And then she saw it was me. She's like, "Oh hey, yeah, sorry I couldn't do that for you. We were really busy. Like, I knew I didn't think they could do it back here because they didn't have the hose," and like just trying to make up all these excuses and being really nice and like chatty with me. And her voice was super annoying, so like I didn't really want to talk to her anyway. But yeah, I just thought it was really funny. Like she was next to the head of the brewery, and suddenly, as nice as could be, as this other guy was filling the growler that she said that they weren't allowed to do tonight. So yeah, not only did I get a free beer, but also they filled the growler, and it was $12. Like $12 for a 64-ounce growler. That's insane.
That's a lot of beer.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Like I thought he said 20, and then like he flipped the thing around with the total on it, and it was 12, and I'm like, all right, like 20 was a good deal, honestly. So yeah, I got 2 beers and a growler tonight for $17 plus tip. I'm pretty content. But yeah, it did, like, because of all that debacle, it took a little longer to get home than I expected. So sorry, but I thought that story was worth sharing just to shade that girl more.
Oh, she listens.
Probably not.
All right. Sorry, I was looking at beer sizes because we have a thing called a schooner here, and I was trying to equate that.
It's probably the same thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
Sorry. Well, if you want to continue talking about mean people that don't serve you well, I had a really nasty call from LA Fitness because I have a new debit card, so like it didn't transfer over. So I figured it would just cancel the membership, and then I wouldn't have to pay it anymore because I wasn't doing it anyways. And so I got 2 nasty phone calls from someone. It pissed me off so much. I just left work, drove over to the LA Fitness that's like a block down, and I told the guy like I wanted to cancel my membership and just have it like cancel. I don't want to pay anymore. I don't want to pay any fees or anything. And he's like, he asked me, "Who called you?" I said, "Some bitch from Brampton." And he goes, "Oh, bitch from Brampton. I know her well." Yeah.
Wow. The fact that he knew it just from that. Probably not be employed there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good laugh. That happened last week.
That's kind of how this was too, though.
Yeah.
Because like I just went back to the guy, and he's like, "Oh, I totally would if I had the hose." Like, who told you that, by the way? I was like, "I don't know, some like mean girl up at the front." He's like, "Oh yeah, I think I know. I'll talk to her. I'm sorry. I'll try to get this right for you." Like those people, everyone knows who they are. That's the thing.
Yeah, everyone knows everyone in bars. That's their job.
Well, just in general, like if you're a dick at work, everyone knows you're that person.
Yeah. Yeah, so unless Ben has a story he wants to share, what games have you been playing?
He works retail, so
I felt shade throwing right there at that voice. I mean,
I'm just saying a lot of people are dicks in retail, so you probably have coworkers.
No, because I fucking get tired of people's bullshit of wanting to get ahead or wanting shit for free.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like my arm is like I tend to do a little. I'm like I've heard, dude. No, stop asking me. Get exasperated, but don't ask it. Put fucking line. I don't really have. I talked to Thomas about the story, but lady came in. She wanted a tire like that. We were really busy. I told her, all right, it's gonna be a long wait. You know, just the prefacing here because people always get fucking impatient with this shit. I'm like, it's gonna take that long to get to my tire. Well, yeah, these cars are here, you know, for X amount of time. You know, we gotta wait to get to yours. It's first come, first serve.
Yeah.
And then, you know, before I could even, and she, well, can't you like do the quickest one first? I'm like, no, it's first come, first serve. That's how we do things. And that kind of I let my little, what, like, just why are you asking? And then, you know, I was gonna tell her it'd be about 3 hours, you know, because how many cars and the work that needed to be done. And then she's like, you have attitude and this and that. I'm like, okay, whatever. You're talking to my manager. I was just trying to tell you the time, and you wanted to be expedited, and I wasn't complying, so fuck you. And she cussed me out. So I was like, all right, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. If you want to consider me rude, fine. I know I'm just trying to warn you with, because I know if I didn't, you'd be asking me every hour on the hour, is my car done?
Yep.
Don't ask to get put in line ahead in line, folks. I don't care how bad you need it. You either wait or you don't. We're not in an emergency room.
So, Justin, how is Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is fantastic. It is pretty much all I've been playing, so I guess it's fitting that you just asked me that. But it's amazing. I think I'm at like 97% right now completion. I'm actually going for the platinum on this one. Like, I never platinum games, but I've heard it's pretty attainable. And judging on my completion so far, like, I'm going to get 100% either way. Like, I'm determined. The platinum isn't that much harder than getting 100%, so I'm going to try to do it. But there are a few dumb things. Like, I'll get into the game itself in a second, but like, you have to get at least silver rating on all of the challenges. I was going to say which one, but I don't want to do spoilers for this. So all of the challenges, you need silver rating, but you don't have to get a perfect score. You just have to get silver, which there's a gold rating that's super hard. And the only way you would need that is because you also have to unlock all of the suits, and some of the suits need those challenge tokens you get. So if you've wasted them on other things you don't need for the trophies, you might have to do a little bit extra in order to get all the suits. But I'm pretty close to all of them, so I should be fine. But yeah, so my goal is to get platinum in the near future, but I'm pretty close. Anyway, the game is amazing. The story on its own, like, is enough to sell the game. It's like about a 15-hour campaign without any side missions or anything. And it's just a beautifully told, like, original story in the Spider-Man universe. Like, this is a Spider-Man that's been doing it for like 8 years. That's been pretty well established. And he's not with Mary Jane, but she's part of the story. Like, they're not in a relationship, but, you know, they're still, like, connected in a really interesting way. Miles is part of it. Like, Aunt May is in there. He has a really cool dynamic with Dr. Octavius. Norman Osborn's part of it. Like, all the characters that you would expect to be in a Spider-Man story are.
Everyone
but a lot
is
of the way,
I said everyone is here.
Yeah, but a lot of the ways it plays out are not how you would expect. Not quite in like a Telltale Batman way, where they just like drastically change origin stories just to trip you up. But it's just like, it's not really based on any comic story or anything. The story they tell is solely their own, and it's really interesting the way they kind of like do their own take on things that have happened in comics. And I love that not only is Spider-Man playable, but also Mary Jane and Miles, because they help to kind of mix up the gameplay every now and then. Like, some people hate those sections, apparently, because they feel boring and too human. Like, they just want to swing around and you know, shoot webs and stuff. But I really like that they take the more, like, stealthy, kind of investigative approach. Because a lot of the Spider-Man stuff just evolves into whatever you're doing, fighting your group of enemies in a room. Even like the stealth sections, you can stealth for a little while, but then you end up taking out the rest in just like an all-out brawl. And a lot of the side missions and like optional crime content and stuff like that around the map are also just combat challenges. So to have the Mary Jane and Miles stuff in there kind of helps the game to feel a little different. Some of the Spider-Man story sections are different challenges than that. Like there's one really cool one, I don't want to spoil too much, but it's more of like a stealth kind of wall crawling mission that I think was really fun. And like there's no combat or anything in it, it's just like a stealth section. And some of the side missions and things like that in there are different. Like there's research labs around the map that you unlock at one point, and they're all like they were put there by Harry Osborn, who's off like at college or whatever, but he's in the game like as voicemails. Basically, when you go into these research stations, he like explains what they're for. And so you have to do whatever mission the research station says to do, like clean up the quality of the air around the city, or like analyze the water quality by going to different spots on the map and like spraying the stuff as you swing across. Like kind of basic little things, but again, it just mixes up the gameplay every now and then, so it's not just fight challenge after fight challenge after fight challenge. There's also a few race type things and stuff like that. A few kind of minor villains show up at certain points for the side missions, or just to like introduce certain sections of the story missions. Like I don't think it's any surprise that Shocker is in the game. I was gonna say I don't think it's a shocker, but
what a shock.
Yeah. But he's kind of that B-rate villain that's in all of the Spider-Man games. But he has kind of some cool sections in there that aren't just like, again, a boss fight. It's a little different than that, and that's interesting. But there's a surprising lack of villains in the game. Like overall, I love it. It's my game of the year. I could, sing its praises for an hour. But a lot of places have done that with the reviews and stuff. I just kind of want to focus on the stuff that surprised me. There's a surprising lack of villains. Like there's the ones that are in the trailer, which I won't spoil in case you don't know the trailers, but if you do, those are all in there. But they're also like fairly late game. The beginning of the game is mostly like thugs and like kind of the, as Kotaku said, the police. Not actually the police, but like, fighting authority basically. And like one faction of kind of like a villain's thugs throughout the game. And then by the end, it's like it opens up and all these villains are suddenly there. But early on, it's kind of more of a like figuring out what's happening story, more so than like stopping, criminals from doing crimes type story like Spider-Man is used to. I would have liked to see more maybe of like the B or C level villains like spring up randomly around the town, instead of like, hey, stop this, thug crime. Stop this Fisk crime. Like just the little groups of the same enemies over and over again. I wouldn't have minded if it was like, more Shocker stuff, or like chasing Black Cat around the map or something like that, where it's like kind of introducing more of these other villains in ways that like you don't just put them away at the end of the mission. It's like they keep popping up over and over again, because they have those. Like the crimes pop up all the time, but it's just the same groups over and over again. So I feel like that's a bit of a missed opportunity, but I'm sure they were trying to leave it open so that other villains could show up over time. But when Spider-Man's been doing this for 8 years, are we just supposed to assume that all of his villains are away and like there's none left for him to fight except apparently Shocker? Because like there should be a lot more out if he's been doing it 8 years. You know what I mean? But overall, like the game is amazing. I love swinging around the city. There's tons of collectibles. When you start the game, it won't seem like it, like if you're fresh to it. But they kind of unlock as you go. So there's this nice progression of like, as you do side quests and like complete more of the main story, more things that are locked on the map legend will become available. So like it might start out that you're just going around collecting backpacks, like Peter Parker's backpacks that he's left around places whenever he's, changed into a Spider-Man costume.
That's why he's so broke.
Yeah, right. He has so many backpacks. There's a nice bit of that in like Spider-Man Homecoming though, when he's like, "Hey man, I need a backpack." She's like, "That's the 5th one this month or whatever." So like they kind of, it's that idea. Like he just leaves his backpacks everywhere and then buys a new one. But that's kind of the collectible. But there's a bunch of other things that unlock as you go out the game, and like, I'm at the end game. Like I got so tired of doing all the side stuff for a while because like I was so invested in the story that I just kind of burned through the rest of the story real quick, and now I'm stuck in the post game with like all of the side quests and stuff left to do. I'm like, crap, I should have done more of this stuff throughout because it's kind of repetitive now. But if you spread that stuff throughout, you'll be like leveled up and like powered up enough that the end of the game will be nothing. So I definitely recommend doing that stuff more like early on, because that's how you get all the different suits and like the skill tree and things like that unlocked. And one of the best parts of the game is how much customization you can do for Spider-Man. Because you can equip him with any suit that's in the game as long as you have it unlocked. And each suit you unlock unlocks a new ability tied to that suit, but you can mix and match any of them. So like you could choose, just by ones that have already been announced, you could choose the Iron Spider suit that's like in the pre-order bonus, but you don't have to use like the ability that comes with the Iron Spider suit. You can use what came with like the new, white symbol suit with it. That's pretty much what I use the entire game because it's OP. It's basically like a circular, like shoot webs in every direction attack, and it just webs everyone against the walls, and then like the fight's over. So I had never had a reason to use anything else, but there are some really cool ones in there that like will just make you really strong or give you some kind of like augment to your combat ability or like deflect bullets, all kinds of things that are fun to play around with in different situations. Some that are more stealthy for like the the sneaky sections, things like that. But then you also have like 3 ability slots that again you unlock throughout the game by like putting your different like collectible points and things like that into the upgrades to unlock them. So you might get one that like will decrease the amount of melee damage you take, or one that like shows all hidden collectibles on the map, as long as you have it equipped. So things like that, and you can have 3 of those at any given time. Again, there's some that are clearly more useful than others. Like for most of the game, I kept the one that reduced melee damage, gave you more health from like the health regeneration element of the game, which is like your focus bar, and one that made you take less damage from bullets. So I just wanted to like take less damage and heal more when I did take damage because I'm bad at combat, and that helped me die less. But you can get really creative and do a lot of cool different ability combinations. So like just the customization elements of the game I did not expect, and it made it feel more like an RPG because there's a skill tree, there's the suits, there's the abilities, like all that stuff together like makes your Spider-Man feel like an extension of the way you play. And that's really cool. And some of the suits are super awesome too. Some of the pictures I put up on Twitter show some of the different suits, but I tried not to spoil it too much. So I would like consciously change suits before taking a picture in some cases, so I didn't spoil, some of the more hidden suits out there. But there's some really cool ones and some definite fan favorites, and a few slots for some more that are going to be a DLC. So I'm kind of curious to see what else comes next. But I really don't want to spoil anything about this game because the story specifically took me by surprise on multiple occasions and like made me emotional at a lot of points. Like this is a comic book brought to life. It's not an adaptation of anything. They created their own unique story and nailed it in a lot of ways. The motion capture work in this game is 90% of the time amazing. Some of the characters, like they have some weird stuff going on. Maybe it's just because I played on a stock PS4 and not a Pro, but some of the facial expressions and the lip sync doesn't quite line up. But the story they tell is great. And some of like the twists and turns and like the character motivations and like the interpersonal connections between them are super well done. There's a few moments that don't feel earned, like where someone might just have like a character change and it's like, when did that happen? Like, that was not led up to at all. And a lot of it's spoiled in the trailers. So I feel like they just figured, oh, this is like everyone knows about this because they've seen the marketing. So it's not a big deal for us to just do this 180 on the character because everyone already knows that this person is this person. Again, this is all in trailers and stuff. The Mr. Negative reveal is not well done in the game. But he's kind of the main villain of the game, so I feel like there was no way to really like hide that. Because he was in all the promotions, they had to show some villain. And I thought they did a really good job of not showing the rest of the villains and like a lot of the, the character moments and stuff. But they kind of had to show that Mr. Negative was the guy. So the build up to him being Mr. Negative is not very interesting. That's the only thing I'm going to really say as far as that's concerned. But a lot of the stuff that I wanted to happen didn't happen in a good way. Like it wasn't really predictable in a way that I would have expected it to be, because it's telling its own story. And it ends in a really strong way with like a few post-credit scenes and stuff like that I'm really curious to see how the DLC plays out, if it just continues that story straight on, or if it's more like kind of side stuff for those that don't get the DLC, and then like they'll do a sequel that actually continues the main story. But they made it sound like the DLC is like substantial story content. So I'm kind of hoping that they're actually going to like follow up on the post-credit scenes in the DLC and not just hold that stuff aside for a sequel in like, probably 5 years. But yeah, it's an amazing game. And if you have the ability to play it, play it. Like, it's been like the fastest selling PS4 exclusive in years. And it is so deserving of that. Sure, you could say it's just derivative of the Arkham series, but that's not a bad thing. The Arkham series is great, and this is Spider-Man's version of that. That's awesome. Like,
I would say
years for that.
Yeah, I would say it actually takes a bit better than the Arkham series, because whenever you get costumes for the Arkham series, at least with City, Night, and what was the
Origins,
like you get costumes, they don't do shit. At least with these costumes, they add like actual buffs and stuff like that, which I think is super sick.
They're awesome. Like, even some of the bad costumes, I still really wanted the ability they gave you, so I would unlock them and then just use that ability with the suit I liked. Like, there's so much benefit to actually doing all the side stuff, because it gets you to unlock those suits that you want, which granted, like, become available as you level up. So like, you're not going to get all of them from the start, but again, like, doing the side quests and stuff is what levels you up. So you're kind of just progressing like by level as you're unlocking things and having the ability to buy them.
So Zero, let me ask you this:
Yeah,
playing the game gets you stuff? No microtransactions, right?
Yeah.
No, like 99 cents DLC. Right? Yeah. What is this? What is this?
DLC? But it's post game DLC.
Yeah, like what is this? 2006? Huh? I
don't know. I call it revolutionary, but that's me. As someone that hates loot boxes and stuff. So
throwback. Sadly, it's a fucking throwback.
Yeah. This feels like a game out of like when Spider-Man was huge. Like a modern version of like Spider-Man 2, Amazing Spider-Man, like back when Spider-Man games ruled and like were the good licensed video games. This feels like that, but an original like modern take on it. Not based on a movie or anything. It's incredible. Like they've made Spider-Man almost perfect. The wall crawling still feels awkward. There's some weird stuff where like he moves faster than like the player can naturally react, especially in combat, where like you'll see the Spidey sense, but it'll trigger like that. So it's like, oh crap, I gotta hit a button real quick. So it's like Spider-Man is better than the player is, and you have to accept that fact and like be prepared to fail a lot, because you're just not as reactive as Spider-Man should be. At least I'm not. But like the only time it ever feels awkward is when like you try to land somewhere and like you automatically kind of step to like a ledge, and like kind of like crawl across the ledge, or when you try to do a cool hero landing against a wall and just keep kind of sliding down it because it doesn't automatically trigger the wall climb, like to just stick on the wall. It's like a button press basically to activate the wall crawl. So there's just some weird button stuff, but it's so hard to like emulate Spider-Man. Like he has so much movement and like abilities, and just like his reaction times are better than a human's. And the way he moves is more fluid and quick than a normal like human character is. So he's not Batman. Like Batman is pretty easy to attach to a controller configuration. Spider-Man, not so much. So sometimes the combat feels kind of clunky because like I'm trying to do all these cool moves that I know I can do, but the button combinations are more confusing than I feel like they should be, even though Spider-Man makes them look cool. But that's on me as a player. Playing as him feels amazing. For probably the first time ever. And I love a lot of past Spider-Man games too, so that's saying something.
When you climb upside down, is there still janky camera stuff?
I didn't do a lot of wall crawling just because it felt awkward.
Yeah.
So I didn't notice it on the ceiling really.
Yeah, that's hard to do.
There's so many times you can do other things. Like it's mostly open. Like there are some more interior sections, but it's never really something where you have to crawl across the ceiling to hit things. You can hit the two like L2 R2 together to like a web zip onto whatever your reticle is on quickly. And so a lot of times you'll just like zip to a light pole or like an outcropping in a building or something like that, and be able to like snatch up enemies and like kind of put them in a spider web, or zip down and knock them out in one hit and then zip back up out of sight, things like that to kind of help with the stealth sections. I never really found myself having to like ceiling crawl in order to stay stealthy. There was always some kind of ledge or something I could stay on instead. But in the controls, there is the option to crawl across the ceiling and like I think hold L2 or something to drop down from the ceiling like on a web. I just never really used it. There's like one or two times taking a picture, I think, because there's a lot of photo ops and stuff in the game too, which is cool. Because there's like Avengers Tower, like the Sanctum Sanctorum, even things like Grand Enterprise and Grand Industries, I guess, and like the Murdoch and
Nelson.
Nelson, thank you. Like their law firm and like everything from the Marvel universe, not just the movies, is in the game because it's its own universe. So like there's a lot of cool photo ops and things like that to do. And sometimes I would like land and then like drop from the ceiling to get the a better angle on the shot, but that's about it. I never felt the need to use that in the game. Wall crawling is mostly optional because it's clunky. But you can also just like run up a building. So you don't feel the need to like slowly wall crawl up it. You can like hit a button and just bolt, and then also just like web zip up, kind of distances for a while too. There's plenty of traversal methods. There's always something, like if you don't like one mode, you can do another one for most of the game. The only thing you kind of have to do well is swing. Because there's a lot of like the side missions and stuff where you're like chasing things, and then you just kind of have to know how to get the best trajectory out of your swing to go fast. But
can't just put that on cruise control?
No. But it feels good to swing, so you don't need to. Yeah, Spider-Man's great. I beat it probably too quickly, but I'm already ready for the DLC.
Great.
I had to. The story was too good. I couldn't stop.
Ben. I beat The Messenger, the game that's not getting any love because fucking Spider-Man.
Oh, Jameson's great too, by the way. He's basically the Alex Jones of the Spider-Man universe. It's amazing.
Yeah. But The Messenger, it's going to be the hidden gem of this year because I don't believe because it came out the same time as Spider-Man. It's getting buried, and that's a travesty. This game, I talked about it last time I was here. It was so wonderful, and now that I've beaten it, like it's easily one of my favorites. It's 10 out of 10. It's perfect to me. I want to play it again. Like that's how much fun it is. Solid. I'm gonna fucking spoil it right now because you know what sealed the deal and what made me love this game is at the very end of it, I'm not the final boss. I'm not gonna tell you how, but you basically do a Kamehameha wave to end the boss. Like you literally just mash like a sprinkle B, and the pose is like, oh my god, yes, give it to me. But this game, from its self-referential humor that was really well done, tight as fuck platforming, Genesis as oh my god, I love the 16-bit Genesis stuff. It's so twangy and so beautiful. I took a picture of it on my Twitter. You can go look at it, just how gorgeous it looks. This is I like a lot of indie games, right? That's sort of my forte now because I don't like a lot of AAA stuff.
Also, it's just cheaper for you too.
Cheaper, yeah. And I feel like I got more rewarding of an experience than if I would have bought certain AAA titles this year. But it's definitely one of my favorites going on this year. Everything about it was a pure love letter to just classic video game tropes, to Metroidvanias, to just Ninja Gaiden, stuff like that. I'm not even that big of a Ninja Gaiden fan, but I love this. Again, if you have $20, go buy it, man. It's fuck Spider-Man. Go buy this. If you're on a budget,
I both.
Go buy them. No, if you're on a budget, you pick the Messenger because it's $20. A lot of content, a lot of fun challenges. It's difficult, but not hard. It's difficult, but not bullshit hard. Except for that moth.
Spider-Man's better.
Fuck it. No, it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. I'm showing bias here because I understand that a lot of people are kind of, for some stupid reason, people are now against this, having this indie backlash thing now, which is so stupid. Their games, it doesn't matter.
It's backlash for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
everyone has to be mad at something.
Yeah. The point is, this is a really good game. Sabotage Studios, y'all created a wonderful, wonderful video game. I want the soundtrack. Like, I want to own the soundtrack because, again, like I said earlier, excuse me, unlike most games, they either refer back to the NES or the Super Nintendo in terms of musical cues. And fine, and the Genesis, while not the greatest sounding console of all time, it has a certain feeling when you hear that twang to it.
That bass.
And that bass. And when you play the 16-bit sections of the Messenger, it has that, and it's so crunchy and good. I'm just like, I want to scoop it up and just hear it more. Oh my god, I want to keep playing this game. That to me is a hallmark of a perfect game. It's not without flaws, because Lord knows there were moments of bullshit. I'm looking at you, Mothra Boss. But it didn't matter how many times I died. It didn't matter how many time shards I lost. It didn't matter. I wanted to play. I wanted to explore. I completed this game. I found all the little hitting things. I did all the little mini things. I completed this game. I don't ever do that. Even games that I love, I just don't. Celeste, a game that I sort of I loved, and it's still one of my favorites of this year. I didn't even do that for Celeste. I did it for this game.
Was that this year?
Yes, that was this year.
Jeez.
Yeah.
This is a good but bad year for video games. It's going to be a hard game of the year list.
Yeah, I already have 3 so far. I love it. I love the Messenger. I look forward to seeing what Sabotage Studios does next. Whether it's a Messenger sequel or just a new game entirely, I don't care. I want to play their next game because if it's as tight as this one, oh, I'm in. You got a fan for life.
It's on my agenda.
Yeah,
I'll probably get to it soon.
Yeah, I think for Christmas, I'm just like, here's $20 for an eShop card. Here's the Messenger. Or I'm just gonna buy Messenger codes and just like here. Play this beautiful game. Fuck Spider-Man. Anyways, I also bought a Super Nintendo Classic because I'm a lying whore.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
He literally came
How
to
did
us
that
and
play
was
out
like,
exactly?
what?
I was like, well, no, Thomas, don't show me how to hack it. I'm not going to buy it anyways. Well, there's one at work. Fuck it. Pull the trigger. Do it. By the way, they're not hard to find. Literally the next day at work, there was like 5 more Super Nintendo Entertainment Classics. They're not hard to find at all.
And then, hey, Thomas, how do I hack this? I bought it.
Yeah. And it was super easy to hack. So I got a Super Nintendo Classic. It's wonderful. I love it. I love the crispiness of it. I love that it actually looks like HD. Like the HD is really nice. A lot of the colors pop. I've been playing, at least on the original list, a lot of Yoshi's Island. Thomas, don't say anything.
Nice.
And that game is still so much fun. I love it. I love this color scheme, and then the HD makes the colors really pop. But I also hacked it because everybody said it was easy, and Lord knows it was easy. It was super easy, except for you, Illusion of Gaia, Terra Enigma, and
Not easy for every game.
yeah, which is disappointing because like that's
to do. It's just compatibility.
Yeah, it's just every Super Nintendo hidden gems list, which by the way, there's a lot of those on YouTube. Kept saying Terra Enigma, Illusion of Gaia, not compatible with SNES Classic. Like, okay, but I got so many games that I remembered, so many games I never played. I didn't want to put like all 300 because like that's too many games. So I think I got like 50 on there right now. I'm currently right now on the hack list. I'm playing through the X-Men Apocalypse Super Nintendo game, which
nice.
I did a Twitch stream for about an hour of that. That game is bullshit hard.
Yep.
The enemies just swarm you. It's not fun, but I did something that childhood me would never believe, and I beat a stage. Lord knows that game wants to cheap you out sometimes.
I think I put that on my list of my favorite X-Men games, but it is not easy.
No, it's bullshit hard. But it's fun, because you can blast people with fucking Cyclops, and it's awesome. And there's no such thing as X-Men games anymore.
Yeah.
And one of my more favorite ones is that even though I have Final Fantasy V on the game, and I've talked about it before, I wanted to play it on the Super Nintendo, and I downloaded an English ROM hack, and it works perfectly, at least so far. And that's been really fun to...
That wasn't on there.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I love... Secret of Mana is one thing, but goddamn, it's fucking Chrono Trigger, people.
Secret of Mana is on there.
Yeah, no, I'm saying Secret of Mana should have been taken off for Chrono Trigger.
Oh, yeah.
If you're talking about the two, you put Chrono on there.
Yeah, my brother and I tried to play that game, like Secret of Mana, and he wasn't into it. And you have to play for like 2 hours before you unlock the second player.
Yeah.
Like, by the time we actually got like the 2-player mode, he was done. I'm like, oh, I can play now.
But I haven't touched that one yet. I also downloaded Final Fantasy 2 because I initially downloaded 4, but it's 4 Japanese, so I loaded the game up.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, it's in Japanese. I can't do this. I probably could because I played the game enough times, but I re-downloaded American 2 because that's nice. Yeah, a lot of beat 'em ups. I realized as a kid, I liked beat 'em ups a lot, and I like that I can just play them now. Except the Death of Superman. Fuck that game. That game is so fucking hard for no reason. Why can Doomsday just ignore your shit in the second level? I don't know. Fuck you, Blizzard. Blizzard made that game, by the way.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Yeah, so weird. But I remember never getting past the second stage because Doomsday just wrecks your shit.
I haven't even tried playing the second. I got through the first. I was like, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's perfectly fine. It's like, and the thing is, like, it's so deceptively cheap because the first stage is like, oh, you're beating up these mutant freak guys. Whatever. You can fly. You can do your powers. The second you get into that next stage and it's like Doomsday's come to Metropolis, not only do you have to deal with Doomsday's bullshit, but you have to deal with fucking all these biker assholes who have chainsaws and Molotov cocktails, and they're swarming you. And it's like, by the time you get to Doomsday, it's like you're fucking beat up for some reason because you're Superman, and then Doomsday just like ignores your invincibility frames. He hits you on wake up like with like a truck. You're pretty much guaranteed to get game over by the second time you fight Doomsday. I understand it's based on the death and return of Superman, but come on, at least let me hit him once. But yeah, I love it. I'm gonna add more games, but for now I'm content with it right now. One of the more interesting ones that I downloaded that I haven't gotten into fully, but I really want to, is Jurassic Park for the Super Nintendo. Which, yeah, it's like at first it's like it starts out like a top-down sort of perspective game, but the second you go into a facility, it turns into Doom.
Yep.
Like it's all first person.
What? Oh no, I don't at all. Then.
Yep.
Yeah, you might be thinking of the Genesis version where you just play as a Velociraptor, the better version.
No.
Or I don't know. I don't know about that. But
the only thing I'm going to say about that is that the Genesis version I didn't get very far. In the Super Nintendo version, I got very far.
Okay.
Like I really enjoyed that change perspective. It just like blew my mind that you can go from this one type of gameplay to another. If I played ActRaiser back in the day, that would have blown my mind.
Yeah, they didn't do that very much back then. It was just one gameplay style for the whole game.
Yeah.
Oh, I played Star Fox 1 because in order to unlock Star Fox 2, you have to play the... And that was like...
Canaria.
That was like, oh my god, this would have been revolutionary in '93, but it's so chunky.
Rough.
It's so, like...
That music is good, though.
Yeah, and then I played Star Fox 2 to the first opening level. I didn't understand how it worked, so I just played like one section, and it was just like, okay, I won. What did how did I win? Okay, I'm not.
It seems like a weird game. I haven't played it.
It plays like a board game, kind of. Like there's two opposing forces, and you have to work your way to the enemy's base.
Yeah, it's weird. But I only played like one level.
Wait till you get to a planet and see what the frame rate looks like.
Oh god, I don't want. I'm glad though that Star Fox 2 gives you the aiming reticle because that's not existent in Star Fox 1.
Yeah,
I actually almost killed Slippy in Star Fox 1 because I just kept shooting randomly.
That's fine, no big loss.
You have to switch to first person view.
You can do that?
Yeah.
The game doesn't tell you shit.
It tells you. Well, it doesn't tell you, but you figure it out when you get into the asteroids and the space battles. Like there's a first-person view, and then you just press select, I think, and it changes it.
Wow, I didn't know that. Also, I played Super Metroid on it because I had to, and I played that game multiple times on the Wii Virtual Console, 3DS. But
don't do this to me.
But playing it on the Super Nintendo was just like, okay, this feels right.
Okay,
this is what I remember.
These convex and concave buttons.
No, I thought you were gonna go south on me.
No, it was like I like did a time warp. I'm like, it's 96. I'm in my very first apartment, my parents' very first apartment that I can remember. I'm looking at this giant ass CRTV, and there's Super Metroid scaring the living shit out of me because the atmosphere is so creepy.
The friggin' wrecked ship.
Oh, not even that. Just like the opening area, like with the wind and storm. Like, what is this? I'm used to Mario and Sonic and shit. This is weird.
Like the creeping music.
Yeah,
I guess so.
But playing that, doing wall jumping, and like running and jumping feels so much natural. I think it's because of the button placement of the Super Nintendo, like or at least how I changed it to. But it was just like, okay, this feels right. I haven't touched like Super Mario World or Link to the Past, those yet, just because again I've played those games to death. But I probably will at some point. But I was trepidatious about buying one because like, oh, I have a Wii U, I have all these games, stupid shit like that because I'm somewhat of a Wii U whore. But like now that I bought it and I'm looking at it right now and how tiny it is and how precious it is, and I only care about it in the rest of the world, nothing else matters. And I love just unrolling the controller and just playing with it. It just feels so simple. Like, and the games are fun whether they're illegally obtained or not.
Dang it, I need to get one.
$75 well spent.
Oh yeah, because you get a discount.
Yeah. It wasn't that much, but it's cheaper than what I would have fucking bought on Amazon. But yeah,
you should invite someone over to play Street Fighter with you. And then you can
I actually did that with my oldest nephew, and I kind of made him annoyed.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't. Well, yeah, because like I don't know how to turn that off. We play on the classic. We played on the Switch. I used the Joy-Con controller, the Pro controller. Give him somewhat of an advantage, right? But like I'm just like uppercutting him every time he jumps in, and just doing fireballs like 30 times in a row, and
it's
like
so good for your own good.
Yeah, being the asshole uncle, and like he's just like, Uncle Theo Ben, I don't want to play anymore. I'm like, oh, okay. I might have just lost my nephew to fighting games for the rest of my. So now I gotta wait till my younger brother is old enough to so I can try to condition him. I'm like, you gotta learn like I learned, damn it.
So you can ruin him too.
No, you right. Hopefully, my younger brother Caleb will listen to this when he's like 10 and realize. So that's why he threw 30 Hadokens at me or whatever version of Street Fighter we happen to be playing at the time. But yeah,
did you get Mortal Kombat?
Yeah, I downloaded Mortal Kombat 2, and Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate Collection. But 3 kind of runs weird a little bit. and it was a little bit. It wasn't. It was just
3 Ultimate has some frame rate issues because that's just too much game for the 3DS.
yeah, exactly.
I remember that.
When I went to 2, and it was just like, okay, this is right.
2's great.
This
2 brought in my boy Baraka. It feels good. Like
yeah. Except when you fight the AI in arcade mode, then it gets like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So yeah. But
what
yeah,
about Clay Fighter?
I haven't downloaded it. I downloaded Killer Instinct though, because I love Killer Instinct, and that was fun to replay to go through at least once.
I didn't know that was on SNES. I thought that was started on N64.
No, that's gold. But no, the original. I mean, it's not a port of it, the arcade game, because it would be impossible if you look at the KI arcade game. But there was a Killer Instinct on Super Nintendo. That's how I played it. It was a black cartridge. That's how I remember it, and it was so awesome. But I have that. I'm still. Hey, anybody who's in the comments, if you have suggestions of actually good platformers, because I have a lot of beat 'em ups. I have enough RPGs that I could play. But if you have good game,
there's a little game out there known as Bubsy.
No.
What?
Donkey Kong Country 3 is the best platformer on SNES.
You mean 2, right?
No, 3. 3 is the best.
2's the best. But I have all 3. I have the other 2 as well. I do have those. But if anybody has any obscure like platformers for the Super Nintendo that's like not first party Nintendo, lay them on me, because I'll download them and stream them probably, maybe. I don't know. I don't commit to y'all. But that's enough. I've talked way too much. But I love my Super Nintendo Classic. I'm glad I bought it. I'm officially going to take my Wii U out to the backyard and do it the way of old Yeller.
It's time. Well, once Smash comes out. That's the only thing it has left.
You still gotta play Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I have that game. I've beaten it already.
Oh, okay. I thought you haven't finished
Hashtag
it.
I love that game. I hope that gets ported.
Alright.
Probably won't.
I know.
Thomas?
This make me sad. This week has been a weird week for me. It's just been very busy with work and stuff. Had my physical. I don't know what it is, but they can't find veins on me when they take blood. So I got stuck 3 times with needles to take blood.
My wife's the same way. Just tiny veins, like they struggle to.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, most of my time has been playing Destiny 2, Forsaken. Last week I only played about an hour, so I didn't really talk about it. So this week I played some more. I really enjoyed Destiny 2 Forsaken. It's got a revenge type story. This is not a spoiler. They killed off Cade in this one, and the people that killed him off were Aldrin and his barons, and he's doing it for trying to find Mara, which was the girl, like the 2 twins in the first Destiny game. So it's about their story, and it's got like a revenge thriller type of feel to it. Like there's missions to go after each one of the barons, take them out, and they all play like pretty uniquely. Like my favorite one's probably either the Trickster or the Mindbender, just because there's like, for the Trickster, he has like all these traps and stuff that's like super ammo is bugged to just explode. So you have to figure out, like, you have to see the super ammo like on the ground before you kill anybody to know which one is explosive or not. And then the Mindbender one, you go into the I think it's called the Ascendant realm, and so there's it's a different realm that you go into that I think the Taken are from. And I'm at the end game now where you're at the Awoken City. It's called the Dreaming City, and I haven't really played too much since then. But for people that really love secrets in Destiny 2, they brought that back. So there's like all these like secret objectives that you can do that they don't really tell you about. That's what I don't like about it. Like, I don't like the secrecy to Destiny, but I think that's what their fan base is looking for. So they brought that back. There's also the Gambit mode, which I really enjoy. It's a 4v4 like PvE PvP. So you're competing to get these orbs of light and could put them into a well once you hit a certain number, a boss appears, and the first person to take out the boss wins. And there's also moments throughout that mode where you can send an invader over to go and like mess with them and try to kill them, so they drop the motes of light that they need to put into the well, just to give someone a really bad day. Yeah, there's a quest going on right now for the Ace of Spades, which is Cade's gun. It's
the Ace of Spades.
The Ace of Spades. It's super annoying to try and get it because you have to kill someone with a hand cannon when they invade your game. And what a lot of people are doing now are just sitting back with sniper rifles and just picking people off that way. So it's hard to try and figure out how to get around them without their sniper rifle or their linear fusion rifle. I think I finally figured out where the spawn points are for invaders, so I'm trying to get to those spawn points and camp them when they come in. I only have one more left to go. I think you only need 5. There was one guy who I was such a piss off. I almost had him with the hand cannon, and then he jumps into lava, so I don't get the kill. So he was like, he knew what I was up to and what I was trying to get, and he wouldn't let me have it. He's such an asshole. And then there was one guy that just sat there and let me kill him because he was a good guy. Yeah. Mostly Destiny 2. I don't want to stay into the spoiler stuff because it's awesome. Like, it's a really good expansion. They just put out the Last Wish raid. I don't know, no one has completed it yet, but they just put it up today, so we'll see what happens. Apparently, one of the bosses is like light level 565. They boosted up the level cap to 50, and also the light level to 600. So, significant increase. Lots of cool weapons. I like the Bygone pulse rifle. It's kind of like it's got like an old school like wood feel to it, which is super in these days. It's like wood and metal. Yeah, I'm gonna go play some more right after this. I'm playing with a friend, helping him through the story missions. Justin, are you there? You're moving slowly.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No, Brooke just randomly turned the AC on. So I had to mute it and question her life choices.
Alright. Yeah, mostly Destiny 2. I'll be playing more of that this weekend, see if I can get into the secret stuff. Because, I have a coworker that plays Destiny 2 as well. He plays way more than me. And he's just telling me all about it, and it sounds really neat. Yeah. It's actually super cool to have a coworker that just, like, you can chat Destiny stuff and send links back and forth and have fun discussions about. I think that's literally it. I don't think I've played anything else. I downloaded some stuff, and I played a little bit of Street Fighter 4 on the work console.
Oh.
So I just booted up as Ken and just shot Hadoukens at people. It's always a good time to shoot Hadoukens at people.
Wish I could do that in real life.
Hadouken.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't talk about the supers. Like, that's the whole new thing, is that each class has their new super, and there's one super for the Warlock that's electricity, and it's basically a Hadouken.
Nice. Did they do the pose and everything?
I don't have it. I saw one person do it, and it looks like the father son, like one hand Hadouken, or not Hadouken, or not Hadouken. Like Kamehameha. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
You said you were going to talk about Celeste.
Yeah.
You guys need to remind me about this stuff because I don't have a good memory.
Are you about to make me very upset?
No.
Probably.
I like it. I'm enjoying it. The only negative thing I have to say is the voices, and I wish there was a way to disable voices. But that's about it. Like, I really am enjoying like the story stuff, and what's her name? Madeline is like really cute. Cute character designs. One of my favorite things is that after you complete each like level or whatever, they give you these postcards, and they're like super like just wholesome. I just took a screenshot of this one. I'm not gonna show it on camera because that wouldn't make any sense, but It says, "Be proud of your death count. The more you die, the more you're learning. Keep going." And like I was like, "Oh, that's so sweet." I had to take a picture of that. And
yeah, I kind of said that before. It's like it's a game that like death is a gameplay mechanic because it teaches you how to do the section better.
Correct.
It's really cool.
I think I've probably racked up over 100. I've only done like maybe 3 levels. So yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
my
terrible
average
at
was
it.
like 65 per world.
Yeah.
Or level, whatever.
I'm terrible then. Jesus.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I figured you were better.
No, dude, I'm garbage. I'm hot garbage.
Hmm.
I'm so hot garbage. I'm gonna go bury myself in a field right now. Let's get out of here.
All right.
I just got to the spooky house, like the inn.
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
I just finished that one.
Nice. Yeah, I want to play some more of that. I don't like the controls on the actual Switch itself. Like, I've been mostly playing Picross on the go, like back and forth from work and home. But playing like an actual game on it is such a... It's so annoying because of the back. Like it has like a little jet thing out that for the trigger buttons, and then also there's no real D-pad. The analog sticks are like very short and you can't be super precise with it, which you kind of need with Celeste. It's just a little annoying. Like I stopped playing Celeste on my Transit just because of the issues I had. So I actually have a Pro Controller. I'm going to use that for that. So I booted up Blossom Tales. I just ran around a little bit. They made me a knight, and that was about it. So I'll talk about.
I use
Blossom
the
Tales
Joy-Con directional buttons. Like I don't usually like that. Like the fact that it's not a D-pad. It's like just buttons. But for Celeste, it works really well, actually.
Really, I found the diagonal aiming to be not as what I wanted it to be.
Well, yeah, that's the issue I had in the review. Is like sometimes it wouldn't disconnect when I'm trying to go forward.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I found it really precise because you're just hitting buttons. Sometimes when you're using a D-pad, it'll register the other direction because it's one like solid like circular pad.
It's a digital
kind
pad.
of moving. Yeah. When it's buttons, I feel like you're getting more precise movement, but sometimes it's too precise.
Yeah. I want to see what it plays like on the Pro Controller because I have that. See if it's better. So yeah, I'll be playing through Blossom Tales and have more about that. Yeah, it's basically a Zelda game.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you don't think too far into it.
Yeah. So where can the people find Justin?
They can find me on YouTube or Twitter if they look up Zero Score.
Sweet. And Ben?
Twitter.com/MarioZiggy, or now you will be retweeted nothing but Bongo Cat memes, because that is my current favorite obsession right now.
It's true. Can't confirm.
I feel so old.
It's so precious, and all the music and the creative.
I am like the least plugged in person about memes and stuff.
But it's a precious meme.
You can find me on Twitter, CSG Thomas on Twitter. You can also email me, thomas@charshot.com. Also visit our website, charshot.com, for all of our audio, video, and written content. Please leave a review on iTunes, Stitcher, or anywhere else where you get your podcasts. Who knows? Maybe we'll read it on the air, but I'll definitely read it to myself and enjoy it. Until then, guys, enjoy. What is it, Justin?
I don't know. I was just thinking something like you read it to yourself in the dark in bed, but I didn't want to take it too far.
With using one hand in a phone.
Yeah.
I don't understand people that jack off with a phone. I don't get it.
Don't judge.
I mean, for one, you have to turn it landscape. Like, don't be a portrait monster. Wait, portrait, right?
Portrait.
Yeah,
Listen, man.
landscape. Anyway, you have to turn it landscape, and that's just like it's hard on your hand. No pun intended. To like have your phone like this way when like it's holding the edge with one hand. It's like that's heavy.
Right.
It's called technique.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm a two-hander, so I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you too. I'm a two-hander guy too. So.
Wow, I'm a fucking freak then.
I meant two-hander on my phone. I need both because it's a big phone.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah.
I don't know. I have a wife. I don't need to.
Yeah. I just brought that up because I remember reading comments on porn videos saying this sucks for mobile, and I'm just like, who uses mobile? But I'm the idiot that reads comments on porn videos, so.
Yeah. Why are you scrolling past the video?
I want to see what people say about the video.
I want to know if anybody is just as much as a freak as I am. That's why. Yeah, I'm not alone.
I see like the screen caps on Twitter and stuff, and I'm like, do people actually like talk about video games and stuff? Like that's stupid.
Gamescast, and until then, guys, enjoy your games. Enjoy your porn. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Video Game News and News Show, hosted by your hosts Thomas and Justin and Ben.
Ha!
Hi.
I just like leapfrogged right over you.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm a person. I have feelings.
Yeah, I just feel like I just got tackled by the Ultimate Warrior right there. Jesus Christ.
Speaking of the Ultimate Warrior,
where are you going with that? Uh-huh.
Damn it, I painted myself in a damn corner.
You can feel like the Ultimate Warrior in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay. Talk about your Kingdom Hearts.
It works.
Big Hero 6. Get tackled by Big Hero 6.
So they finally showed off the Big Hero 6 world for the first time. They had shown like concept art before, but they said that it's the world that they had been struggling to realize like in game, in engine. And so it would be a while before they could show it off. And they finally did, and it looks great. All the characters are there. Obviously, they're not English voices yet, but I assume they'll probably use the ones from the show right now, which is a lot of the original movie cast and a few replacements. There's also a little bit of footage from the Monsters, Inc. world and the Tangled world and the Toy Story world, but it was mostly a Big Hero 6 trailer, and it looks great. They also showed the new gummy ships, which I thought was kind of funny because there's like stylized ones, like there was a Moogle and Ultros, which was goofy, and a few others. I think like one was from a different game. I don't remember what it was, but it's like the guy that's working on the gummy ship sections this time like made some game, and like that's represented in this. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you'll know what the game is, but I can't remember what it is right now. But anyway, it's just a new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer that came out. It looks pretty cool. And I love Big Hero 6, so I think it was worth mentioning. But there's not a lot of information here. It was more just like, oh, dang, we finally got Big Hero 6 footage. So we can move on.
All right. THQ Nordic buys Kingdom Hearts... Or Kingdoms... Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdoms of Amalur.
Kingdoms of Amalur. Yeah. THQ is just trying to become... Or THQ Nordic is just trying to become THQ.
Yo, real talk, if they end up porting Kingdoms of Amalur to Switch, I will totally rebuy that game because I bought it for the PS3. There were some bullshit hard moments in that game from what I remember. Then again, I probably wasn't leveled properly. But I remember like really enjoying exploring in that game, and
yeah, it's cool.
That's probably been the only Western RPG I've actually like enjoyed because it actually had a fucking art style.
Well, it's from Todd McFarlane, so
was it Todd? No.
Yeah, it was him.
Sure?
It was him and that baseball player.
Yeah,
R.A. Salvatore. No, Salvatore.
No, it wasn't. There's a white guy whose name I don't want to speak of because he's kind of a racist piece of shit.
Oh, I don't care about that. I'm just saying this from R.A. Salvatore, the
right. I'm talking about the baseball writer. The novelist, he's cool, but I'm talking about the baseball writer.
Yeah. The important people are what matter, though. It was cool. I couldn't get into it because like the beginning is kind of linear.
Yeah.
Like you're just walking across a path, and like you come into a town, you pick up some stuff in the town, you go do the quest, you move on. Yeah. But it seemed really cool.
No,
it just felt a little too Fable-ish to me.
I never played Fable, so I can't fail that concept. But from what I've seen, it definitely moved quicker than Fable, just from what I've seen.
Yeah, it was a neat game. It was too. I want to say it was just too big for my for me because I got to a certain part where it was just so vast, and I just didn't. It just felt daunting. I didn't want to complete it. Yes, it was throbbing. It was massive. But I guess it's a good thing for people that enjoy RPGs. I just remember I just got really bored with it after a while. I spent like 30 or 40 hours, and I was not even halfway through the game. And I was like, "What am I doing? I need to do something else for a while." And I never got around back to it.
I think it'd be cooler to expand this universe, like either a spin-off, a sequel, something like that. But if they start with porting the game to like modern consoles and Switch, I didn't mean that as a diss. That kind of sounded like it, but I just meant like the Switch version wouldn't necessarily be like an up-res port or anything. It would just be the PS3 version on Switch. The others would probably be like a 4K, like enhanced version or whatever.
With Spawn in it.
Sure, yeah, do that. I think that's probably how they would start it, and then they would move on to a sequel or something after people were familiar with the franchise again, because it didn't sell super well. That's why it failed.
Kingdoms of Amalur 2, Electric Boogaloo.
It was supposed to be an MMORPG after the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's crazy.
It was, but the studio had to declare bankruptcy, so they couldn't do anything. But EA still owns the distribution rights, so like THQ Nordic would have to work with EA to get the game distributed, and that kind of sucks.
That means loot boxes confirmed for Kingdoms of Amalur.
Wow. Probably.
I don't know if you know the story, but 38 Studios, they went under and they got sued by Rhode Island Economic Development Corporation.
No, I remember hearing about that. Yeah, okay. They sued Kurt Schilling. Oh God, I said that asshole's name. They sued the baseball player. Yeah, fuck him. Sorry.
Yeah, that's crazy. I remember like the coverage for it. Like people would some journalists were going down there like taking pictures of everything, and they had to sell off literally everything within the studio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nuts. Amazon may have outed Halo 5 Guardians PC port.
That's already deconfirmed.
It's already been confirmed?
Can they just fucking put the Halo fucking trilogy?
Like, I mean, it could still happen. Like, a lot of times they'll come out and say, "Oh no, this isn't happening," and then a week later it's announced.
All right.
It's
an interesting story because it's like they did change the box, like the cover art on Amazon, to from Xbox One exclusive to only on Microsoft or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that what it says?
Only on Windows 10.
Or no, I guess it's Xbox One console exclusive is what they changed it to, instead of only on Xbox One. So people were speculating that means that it's going to go to PC, because then it would still be console exclusive on Xbox One, because PC is not a console. But they've since said that there's no current plans to bring it to PC, and that it's an Xbox One game. They just updated the blah, 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 blah. But I think it doesn't necessarily mean that it's deconfirmed. I think it just means they're trying to cover themselves until they make their reveal.
Listen, Microsoft. Phil, Spencer, baby! Just put it on. Put Halo 1, 2, 3 on fucking PC. Just do it.
2 are already on PC.
What?
I think 1 and 2 were both released on PC. That 2 was the last one. I actually had that on PC.
Like, I can go buy it right now?
Probably not.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I mean.
All they have to do is release the Master Chief Collection on PC, which I think they said they're going to do.
Please, hurry up.
And then release 4 and 5.
Oh, I don't care about that.
4 was great, actually. I loved that game.
I just want to play first 2, because that's like the one franchise I never played. So, hurry up, Microsoft. It's not like you got
I want to play 5 just because I haven't played it. Like, I don't even really know what that game is about. But I loved 4, and I would love to play that again.
Wasn't 5 the one where they're like, oh, it's like Locke versus the Chief?
Yeah, I guess.
And
Master Chief on the road.
If you guys never played it, that actually didn't really have like that whole build up. There was no real match.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ben, imagine.
I remember reading about that.
Ben, imagine you have this build up between 2 mega powers exploding, and they're about to fight each other. They're in a match. The bell rings, and then someone runs in with a steel chair.
It's almost as bad as Sting Hogan, except at least Sting Hogan had a match.
Yeah. Moving on, we have EA reportedly under criminal investigation in Belgium for refusal to modify FIFA loot boxes.
Lock them up. Lock them up.
So, as a preface to this story, EA was trying to do a poll for people to tell the Belgian government that they wanted loot boxes, that loot boxes were a good thing, so that they could prove to the government that they were in the right here. No one did that because loot boxes aren't a good thing. Well, I'm not saying no one did it, but, you know, it wasn't the turnout they wanted. And now they're just basically defiantly, like, ignoring the fact that they're doing something illegal. They're just continuing to release their games as if nothing's wrong. Just to prove, like, no, people want this. It's fine. Shh, it's not illegal. People want this. Just let it happen.
Just take this money, damn it. I'm trying to bribe you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hilarious to me.
Yeah. Their quotes sound just so, like, oblivious. We don't believe that FIFA Ultimate Team or loot boxes are gambling, Wilson said. Firstly, players always receive a specified number of items in each foot pack. And secondly, we don't provide or authorize any way to cash out or sell items or virtual currency for real money. I get what he's trying to say, but, like, you don't dictate the terms. Like, you're trying to sell your product in a different country. Like, in a country, you have to go by their terms.
Yeah. To me, the problem with this isn't the gray area of whether or not it's gambling. It's how they phrase what it is.
Yeah.
So they're saying that it's not gambling because they always receive a specified number of items. But the problem is they're paying real money to receive something in game that they might already have. So they're receiving a set number of items, but they could have all of those items already. And in most games that have this system, you can't, like, you know, trade that or anything. It's not like Pokemon cards, where, yes, that is also a kind of a, you know, a loot box, like a physical loot box that's catered towards children. But in that case, you have a physical item that you can say, hey, I'll trade you my 2 Rattatas for your, you know, Growlithe that I don't have. And then you do that trade, and you have something that you didn't have before that you needed for your, you know, your collection or whatever. In this case, if you get, like, I don't know, what, let's do Battlefront. If you get, like, 3 Captain Phasmas in a pack, you don't need 3 Phasmas. But you don't get anything in place of that. You don't get your money back or anything. So you wasted that money at that point, because you're just, at some point, you're just getting things from the crates that you already have on the off chance, like the, you know, 3% chance maybe that you'll get something you don't have. So it's different when you're catering it towards children and you can't get anything else for that money. It's not a system of being able to trade the individual things for something else, even at the, you know, when I was a kid, like a 5th grade or whatever, I remember specifically I traded like 2 Rattatas and Coughing or something for a shiny Charizard card with you know, at the playground with Pokemon. The person that had them was just like, he wanted to be one of the cool kids that liked Pokemon, because yeah, that's what the cool kids did. He didn't know what any of them were. I knew, but I also knew I could take advantage of that. So wow, I made that trade.
Jesus, you were mean.
Justin was a predator.
I mean, he was also a bully. Like, he bullied me regularly. This is one of the few times he wasn't like chasing me around the playground. So, you know, just desserts. Anyway, I made that trade. He thought it was fair because he was getting 3 cards for 1, but I got a card that was much better. In this case, you're just kind of out that. Like, you don't get anything back for it. So it's not like you could even trade in 3 bits of loot crate for the one thing you didn't have. You just have to buy another loot crate. It's totally different. And it should be treated differently from gambling, because it's still bad. It gets bad in a different way. You see what I mean? So what they're justifying here isn't really the right thing they should be justifying, in my opinion.
Speaking of bad, let's talk about the Nintendo Direct.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not a conversation or anything. It's fine. Let's move on.
All right.
So Nintendo Direct.
It's getting late. We've been going for an hour and a half now.
Yeah, I know, but that's an interesting conversational topic, but that's fine. So, I mean, Ben, did you have anything to say about it before we move on?
About that stuff? No, not really.
Okay, then fine, we'll move on. Nintendo Direct.
Just ignore me when I'm silent, because like normal things. It's okay.
Okay. It wasn't bad. It was just underwhelming because there was a week lead up to it, I think, and it was most likely the same Direct we would have gotten a week ago. So I think because people had to wait, which valid reason for waiting. Anyone that said otherwise is a dick. I think because of that fact, it's like it seemed like they maybe should have added more or something. But I don't blame them for putting out the same thing with a new date. Like that's the announcement they had at the time. It makes sense. But it did start off strong with Luigi's Mansion 3. That was awesome. I'm not a huge Luigi's Mansion fan personally, but I respect that that's a cool franchise, and it makes sense that they're bringing a new one out. The 5 minutes of 3DS games we kind of could have just done without entirely because it was all ports.
5 minutes, dude.
Entirely ports. I know. I'm just saying, like, it was there's no substance there. It's kind of sad what the 3DS has turned into.
The 3DS
it's at the end of its life. I get it, but
it still lives.
But come on, they're getting a deluxe port of Kirby's Epic Yarn.
The game is perfect,
which is barely a Kirby game.
It's a fine game. Stop being a hater.
I'm just saying that's the point they've gotten to.
What's the quote from that game? The grass feels like pants or something.
What?
Guys never heard of that?
Grass feels like pants?
I played that game. There's a quote in there. It's like, this feels like
Kirby
pants.
games have historically always come at the... there's always at least one last Kirby game at the end of a life cycle for a system. It's only fitting that it's Epic Yarn.
But this was the first Kirby game on the Wii?
Yes.
Doesn't matter what
Wii U?
version it is. It's a game. Stop hating.
I think it was the Wii.
Be positive, right, Mr. I need to be
Wii.
positive guy?
Hey, cool for the owners. I'm just saying, like, this is clearly the end of the 3DS's life now. Like, this is the bottom of the barrel stuff they're getting. Anyway, then they moved on to the Switch news and spent like 3 minutes on the Splatoon 4.0 update, which didn't really say anything.
It was an anime intro. That's what that shit was.
Yeah, I don't know what they were announcing here.
New costumes, a new map. That they didn't show any weapons. It was pretty much new hairstyles, new cosmetic, new stuff like that. If you just paid attention, if you played Splatoon, you're gonna know. But it's not well.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's just for Splatoon people. They're like, oh, that's new. Like, because I know the game, so I know that's new. But they didn't spell out what's new.
No, because pretty much by now, whoever's playing Splatoon is probably the diehards only at this point. So
Yeah, pretty much.
that's probably why they did it that way. Like, well, the people who are playing this have been playing it since launch, so whatever. You know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's fair. Then they had a Mega Man 11 trailer, which, I mean, that game still looks good. I played the demo. I actually did do that last week. I think it was last week. And it was okay. The demo level, at least, is too long. Like, Mega Man level should not be that long. And the new Bounce Man level looks pretty cool, and that power looks super OP. It's just like, if you shoot it in a hallway, it's just like, wreck. Just bouncing everywhere. But that new Mega Man amiibo is beautiful. It's so much better than the last one. Like, ridiculous. They showed them side by side, and it's like, you can tell how much better they've gotten at amiibo creation. It's sad. Then a necessary Mario Tennis Aces update, because no one plays that game. Ben, what did you think of that Capcom beat 'em ups collection?
Oh, it's great. It got me excited. Final Fight, Captain Commando, Knights of the Round. Some of the other ones I didn't play, but then 2 unreleased ones that never came to console in the West. Like, that's super sick. Like, yeah. I love that Capcom is just like, here's our old shit, take it. You know, or at least some of our old shit. Not 20.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna get it, but it is really cool. That
it's $20. Also, it's $20 for 7 games.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was neat. I liked that announcement, even though I don't personally care about it. I can still respect that it's cool.
It's online multiplayer.
After that, it does.
Yes.
That's awesome. After that, they had the rumor that was not very well kept, Super Mario U Deluxe, which is kind of goofy because it's Super Mario U coming out on Switch. But the weirdest thing was that they got rid of Blue Toad, and they introduced Nabbit and Toadette. Nabbit makes kind of sense. Like, that's for the amateur player that just wants to run through the levels and not get hit. I could probably get my wife to play with me if she could be Nabbit. That's fun. But Toadette kind of freaked me out. Like, there used to be 2 Toads, and people complained that it was just like, oh, the whole slew of characters, and you chose 2 Toads for this game. I get that. So they chose Toadette instead. But instead of like a power mushroom that like makes you bigger, she gets a royal power-up that turns her into Peachette.
What?
So apparently, canonically, Peach is just a powered-up female Toad. And that's real creepy.
That's not even.
That's not right. She's not a Toad.
It's not even true. I think you're just doing some game theory shit right now.
No, that's got to be canon.
He's leaking the evidence, causation, and whatever.
Yeah, what evidence? We've never seen Peach.
She picks up a thing and becomes a Peach.
Right. Like a Toadette, like a female Toad, becomes Peach when she gets that crown.
They even have the same ability.